YouTube, what the crap is going on? Let's enjoy the quote there by Pope Urban II before the battle begins. So I am playing as England. I don't know if I've ever used England on Medieval 2, which is kind of funny because obviously they were one of the big nations during Medieval period and many other periods. So yeah, I for some reason don't use England a lot. I don't know why. But in any case, the front of my army is these dismounted feudal knights. They're nothing special. I've got up front some heavy billmen. These guys are some pretty cool, like, looking dudes here. They got like these little pokey, blunt, painful-looking axe spear things. Not really sure what they are, but they're pretty incredible looking. So I figured they might be good against cavalry. I don't know if they really are, but I brought them. And I've got 3 retinue longbowmen. And then I've got 2 cool units that I didn't notice were here. So basically Robin Hood has joined my army. I've got 2 Sherwood archers. These guys are like 2 hit point, very high attack archers. We'll check the stats and see if they live up to what I hope they did. And then the meat of my infantry is these dismounted English knights. These guys have a brutal attack because of that axe thing. So yeah, those guys are definitely the meat of my army. My cav is 1 Knights Hospitaller. And I believe that's them riding through right there. And then I've got a feudal, feudal knight and 2 English knights. So, and then I've got my general's bodyguard out here as well. My opponent is playing as Portugal, and a lot of players with Portugal will rely heavily on the Pavis crossbowmen, which are a pretty tough unit and have pretty long range. So he's got a line of musketeers. There's 2 of them. And he's got, I think, 4 Pavis crossbowmen, a couple of spear militia. And then he's got a lot of dismounted feudal knights on his front line, more dismounted feudal knights. So his whole army is a lot of dismounted feudal knights. Now his cav is tougher than mine, I think. I'm not real familiar with cav on this game, but I think that his 4 Knights of Santiago are tougher than the cavalry that I have fielded. But he's started in a position that allows me to kind of capture a little bit of high ground. So I'm going to use that high ground to try and even the cav fight. And I've put my general over there as well. These musketeers have some pretty extreme range, I have to say.
Our men are under attack. We must act
Let's see if they've been hitting anything. Yeah, they actually hit a couple of my billmen. Not much. I don't think the terrain is going to favor them. So he's moving up his Pavis crossbowmen, and then I'm moving up my my longbowmen. I'm going to engage in the skirmishing fight here. These Pavis crossbowmen have very high armor, and are going to be fairly resistant to my missiles. But my Sherwood archers have a really high attack. Their attack is like 13 or something. So they're going to be pretty good for me here. And my guys, of course, have extreme range. Also, I'm pretty sure he's shooting some of his own guys in the back with his musketeers. It's never a smart idea. At least I'm not really sure I understand the mechanics of this game, so I can't say. But you can see the skirmishing fight is well underway. His crossbows with my arrows, and then here comes an epic cav charge. His Knights of Santiago are going to charge into my English Knights, feudal knights. So the cav fight has begun, and much like in Medieval 2 fashion, this is going to be a long grind-out fight between heavily armored, high-defense units. And in order to sway that in my favor, I've dispatched a unit of English knights, and these guys are going to come over here and axe up some of these Knights of Santiago and help tilt things into my favor. I engaged the enemy's bodyguard over here with my bodyguard, and I'm pretty sure that his is going to win. They've got better position and better charge. I'm losing the fight on this side. My English Knights are getting chewed up alive by those Knights of Santiago. But over here, my English Knights are quickly turning the cav fight into my favor. The high attack of my English Knights is just going to overcome the armor of these cavalrymen. Plus, my guys have pretty darn high defense as it is. You can see my guys there. So I'm starting to win this side. My opponent's starting to win this side. The skirmish fight, I'm using my billmen, which this is a pretty expensive throwaway unit. I should have brought something better. But I'm using my billmen to chase out some of his Pavis crossbowmen and give my guys extra shots.
St. George protect us. Our general lies slain upon the battlefield.
This is the point where Heir's general dies, which is unfortunate. But, oh well, I guess it happens. So my billmen have gone in here and chased these guys out. But of course the musketeers are going to help fight back. He charges forward his spear militia, and my billmen rout in the face of his entire army, which is understandable. I dispatched another unit of dismounted English knights, and I've now got the cav fight completely in my favor, and I've gone and outflanked. So I'm going to completely mop up the Portuguese cav. On the front line, we're preparing for an infantry charge. I'll show you that. So it's my dismounted feudal knights versus his. His are much higher in number, and yeah, they may be better in stats too. I haven't really checked out the stats. But in any case, comes my dismounted feudal knights into a spear militia. We're just charging across the line. And I've got some English knights in the center. Those English knights are going to be the guys who really hold the line for me. And I've got more English knights on this flank that I'm going to charge in. So these English knights are actually one of the coolest infantry units I've seen, but I haven't played a whole lot of Medieval 2, so I just know that they had really high attack. Their defense was lower, but their attack is higher. And that axe probably helps them with armor piercing. So you can see here my English knights duking it out with these feudal knights. I have a unit of cav coming in for a hammer and anvil charge, though I'm not sure how effective it is. It probably rattles their morale a little bit, and then I quickly charge them out because I don't want to leave them in a grind out combat with all those armored units. My guys are tired anyway, and I'm going to go down here and chase down some of these missile units. Because the infantry fight is going in my favor, as far as I can tell. My feudal knights did rout right there, which is unfortunate, and I've got my knights Hospitaller, and they're down here cutting up these musketeers. Just stab that dude in the back. So yeah, I'm pretty sure these guys will come back to the fight. Here's my English knights that were participating in the cav fight. They're now crashing into the flank of the enemy. So these feudal knights of Portugal are going to start getting cut down by my men, and I'm going to further move to outflank with this second unit. So let's watch the charge on these guys. My opponent countercharged some of his infantry, but even though it's a pretty epic fight, my guys definitely had the positional advantage. And I've got this unit of English knights coming in here to charge down these musketeers who get some last shots, unfortunately. But I'm going to pass them by and start taking out these Pavese crossbowmen, which have been raining down a lot of death on me through the whole battle. Well, actually, it looks like they routed too. My other unit of English knights did come back into the battle. You can see me reactivating them. The enemy general is chasing down my archers, but they're met by this regrouped unit of dismounted feudal knights. And then I'm going to take my archers off skirmish and open fire. You can see that in the infantry department, my guys are completely outflanking the Portuguese units. And let's take a look at the Portuguese general. He's going to come under a lot of archer fire here in just a moment.
This is a clear victory that goes to only men of great virtue and
at this point, my opponent admitted defeat. His troops begin to rout from the battlefield and are nobly cut down by my English army. So anyway, that was a fun battle. Thanks to my opponent, Electric Shock. Let's take a look at some of the results here. Let's see. Casualties inflicted, 31 by my general's bodyguard. That wasn't bad. Knights Hospitaller got 78 kills. Those guys were awesome. Knights Hospitaller, I should say. I'm saying it wrong. English Knights got 50 kills, 43, not bad. These feudal knights did pretty good. Dismounted English Knights. None of them got as many kills as I'd hoped, but some of them were in the cav fight. Wow, this one unit of dismounted feudal knights freaking pwned. Good gracious. I want to see how my archers did, though. See if they actually did much damage. One of my units of Sherwood archers did good, and one of my units of retinue longbowmen cleaned house, so a couple of them did pretty good. Actually, all three of them did good. Goodness sakes, man. Screw the Sherwood archers. Next time I bring in more of the retinue longbowmen. Those guys were awesome. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that. I've got some more footage coming up for you, so stay tuned.